All right, let's see here. Oops. Oh, do 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 do. I'm singing in the rain. It's raining here a little bit, a little bit. Where am I? Oh, this is where I first tested bone block for oh geez. Okay, where am I? Is that lava thing? All right, good. Okay, I know where I am now. I need to change this video settings. No. So this world's basically focused on a woodland mansion, which is over in that direction. Yeah, I took this part out right here. Okay, let's go over having some ice cream. Being very bad. Okay. Oh. So this is part of the mob crusher that I had. I don't use it anymore though. Mainly because once you're in single player survival, you can't use it because you don't have access to the eggs, the spawn eggs. All right, so the reason why this part is so tall is there is a smart silo in there. Why is it smart? It's because it can tell you how full it is. As this loads up, you can see the enclosure that I built for it. It's kind of like an industrial looking, modern industrial looking thing, maybe out of a science fiction Norman Foster style. It looks nice and it serves a function. So it's industrial because this thing is housing something very cool. So this is the sort of loading, unloading area. Say if you had another minecart system here, or trucks if it was a real building, you could, this is sort of like the back, the cargo sort of area. Why the fences? Because mobs, yeah, they still spawn. Now this is actually the old version. This thing in here, so this is 2 tracks. The updated version of this actually has a loop track because it's more efficient at moving items. However, this is identical. I need to turn this off actually. Also, this has a dropper. No, nope. This is a dropper vader. using a torch tower. So it has not actually been updated. Okay, nope. My current design uses 2 columns of observers. With the droppers. This is 4 columns of droppers. Why did I go from 4 to 1? Because it's like 8 times faster. So having 4 of them would be overkill, and it would take up a bit of space too. It would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 by 3. So long story short, this is still doing something in here. Yeah, this is from the mob crusher. So we see there's the return and send area. This big convoluted thing to get. This basically balances out to an extent the output. Overall, what this does is it scales up. So the more items there are, the more dropper towers are used. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. If I'm really cooking a lot of stuff, it will back up, especially if it's a lot of different stuff, because different things don't like to go through hoppers at the same time, obviously. And here's the smart silo system here. Why did I use wool? Because it's easy to keep track of which things are doing what. And this thing is so good at smelting things in bulk that this is the fuel and item input area. Why do I have that? It's to get stuff from over there to over here, because the main input chest is up over this side. It's the only way I could do it. I did redesign that in the other. I'm using multi-MC, and the non-multi-MC version of this world has this whole thing is gone. All of this convoluted stuff up here is all gone. It's basically just, yeah, it's a lot more refined and more efficient. So this is the top of the dropper vader. You can see the different things can go out here and so on and so forth. But let's go down, because the super smelter furnace array and whatnot itself has not been changed. So you can see my power circuit to power all the rails. Then I have the this one has enough space to have an offset sort of zone here. So this is a single control for the hold and return, but I guess I could at some point, if I really needed to, I could separate out the fuel, which are the 2 innermost tracks, and the input, which are the 4 outer tracks. I could probably separate that if I really wanted to. I could just do another circuit down the other side here, down this side, and I would have to do it from underneath, most likely using observers or torches or something. So anyway, let's go over here and turn this off. Yeah, this part here was all, but you can see here how big the run out is for these. Alright, so I'm going to turn this back on. Keep forgetting that I can't go over there. No. So the, okay, so I need to actually turn this off over here first, else they'll just bounce back again. So this is one unified thingamabob. This uses, whoops, cold block. So that is off. I can now forgetting. I need to like do something here where, yeah, this is, I reconfigured this whole area as well. But that's not important right now. So anyway, let me get up over here. Here we go. Let's push these back. Oh, apparently I don't need that after all. Might also just not be updating. Yeah, it's not updating. So anyway, put a slab back there and put this back. Yeah, so the widest you can get this is 6 because the, well actually no, it's not 6, it's 12, yeah, 12 across. Because your redstone, that coughing is my stepson, he's homesick from school. The redstone signal, you don't want to, if you have another thing of 6 over here, you don't want this being at 1 power. You need it at 2 because you want to put, this should be 2. Well, it's 10 here, but this should be 2, a minimum of 2, and then you put your repeater here, and then you put it over there. So let's see here. I actually took out a lot of this stuff in here. I didn't change a lot of stuff around. But so that's the control circuits. Okay. I don't know why. I'm not sure exactly why that happened. This thing has some issues with updating the powered rail. There we go. So everything's back in the start position where it should be. So I can't nudge the fuel carts back, unfortunately. But these should all be tucked right underneath their respective hoppers. Takes a while. So the only downside of this configuration is that it takes a really long time to fill up the chest. So I'll just, do a little sampling here. There we go. Obviously we have, efficiency and looting and all that, but I didn't. This is if, just basically just a plain old pickaxe. So what's this one filling up with? It's mostly redstone. So let's just help it along here real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna. What's this one doing? Diamond. Okay, let's just help this one along here too. So I want to do a demonstration. This is purely the demonstration. Speaking of rain, Okay, there we go. So we're in the middle of the day. Sunny. Okay, so the return circuit is off. All right, so I'm going to come over here. See how many of this? So that has that's full inventory of that chest right there. So we're going to send it down. So when this comes back, I want it to stay here. Some good ice cream. Got to drink the water with the ice cream. Don't want too much sugar. Do you think I need to come back yet? Because these are not on. So you hit this, and they'll all come back. And they'll park right over here. A little bit of lag. And you can see that it got rid of 2 stacks, and then maybe 2 stacks plus 2 blocks. So I'm going to keep that on. Let's see what we can do here. I think it takes 5 passes. I'll count that as 2. Okay, let's take a quick look. That's 3. So yeah, you can see that the so so these 2 tracks equal 1 single chest, and it feeds into a double chest. So there will always be space, even if your furnaces are not working and not fueled. There will always be enough space if all you're doing is doing a single load of these. That's it. So you'll always have, even if you have no fuel in the whole thing, which there is obviously, but even if there was no fuel down in these at all, I mean, this can only hold 5 stacks. This is 6 stacks. Okay, so that's about 2/3. That's 2/3 of 1. Let's see how many. Just try to remember here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. So a single. So 3 and 6. Okay. Oops. Oh, item contamination going on there. Oh, jeez. I may have to call something here. No. Anyway, so yeah, that's the whole idea behind this, is that there are 2 single chests feeding into a double chest. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's about maybe a quarter of the mine cart capacity is in the furnace and the hopper above it, if there's no fuel in the furnace. So that's about a quarter. The rest of it goes in here, and you'll still have space, and then there's the hopper up here. So you can store a double chest and a quarter of input throughout this whole entire thing. So each furnace basically can store that, and there's, you know, however many you want, up to a certain length. I stopped at 65, I think it was. There's 132. Yeah, so it's 65. These are furnaces number 65 and 130 right here, basically. So I wouldn't make it any longer than that, just due to chunk loading issues. So if I go out back here, it's still rendered in. But if I put the rendering settings like real super close like this, we would definitely have some issues. But yeah, I mean, it's, there you go. See, as soon as it loaded, it kept going. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Minecraft. So I could, in theory, this is not, probably not going to do it, but in theory, I could build another one of these buildings. Yeah, this is definitely not updated, because in the updated, when I redid this whole thing, this here is actually all gone. Yeah, I think I need to, hold on. I'm gonna load that up really quick here and see if I can't. I mean, when I say gone, I mean all of this is basically just this whole big hill here. This whole entire hill back to the water is all flat. It's all, this whole area is all flat and filled in. There's no water or anything. Creeper explosions there. Let's see if I can't bring this up. One moment, please. And the other reason I know that this world is very dated is because this area with the water here, and the most recent up-to-date world is, this is a parrot cage area. It's like a little glass thing for parrots. So let's take a look. Single player. I don't, yeah, you can't see the screen, but I can. I'm gonna, if it is the updated one, I'll switch screens real quick, switch windows, whatever. Taking some time. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. That's the one I want to show you guys. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. It's a beauty. Yep. So I'm going to exit out of the other one real quick here. Just give me a sec. And now I have to go in here and there we go. Okay. I hope you guys are seeing that. Hola, ¿cómo está? Yeah, so this is the right one. I've been working on it quite a bit. So as you can see, I actually redid the hopper array up here. No more weird minecart spinning around. And I put this here. I forget why I did that, but yeah, anyway, so here it is. No more torch tower. And how fast is this thing, you might be wondering? Oh, there we go. There's the minecarts on a loop. See, now it's a loop. So instead of going back and forth, it just continuously goes on a circle. And the main reason I have it like this is because this is what I call buffer. You want buffering here. If you're smelting, say you're on a server and you have 300 people dumping all their items in here to be cooked. Your store, even if you don't want it to go to the storage system, if you don't want it to go into your silo, you could have it wait here, be picked up and put down in here, so you can get it in. See the chests, all that stuff is just all, it's all gone. Very simplified. And what this basically does is it feeds in this one dropper from two directions. That's all it does. And you might wonder, how does this work? What even is this? This, okay, let's turn everything down. Okay. Let's decrease that to 15. Okay, so here we go. Yeah. Oops. It's so fast that the triggered result stays true. Now I'll test this. I'll show you how fast this actually is. And actually, if you take, say, this out of here and move it up here, and then move another stack up here, I'll show you something very interesting about this layout for the dropper baiter. Yeah, let's find a hole that we can go up. There we go. So let's see what this dropper is doing right here. I'm getting 7 frames per second here, so I'm going to go up. Look at that. Yeah, try doing that with a hopper, or sorry, a torch tower. You can't. It'll burn out. It's at least, and look, done. Sorry about the noise. I have a fun test here. How fast can we empty this dropper? Okay, let's try this. I have my watch here. I'm going to time it. As soon as it gets to the 60, here we go. It's a Timex too, so decent watch. As soon as I hear that first click, I'm going to now this is a full dropper with 9 full stacks of items. How long would it take for a torch tower to do this? So we're coming up on 1 minute and a few seconds here. 1 minute. We're officially below half a stack on all but one of them. There we go. Half a stack on that one. And remember, as these slots empty, it'll go even faster. And this is at 7 frames per second. Keep that in mind. And we're at a minute and 35 here. You can see the frames per second up in the top right there. There it is. Okay. So it's 1 minute 30, 40, 1 minute, 20 seconds. I don't think you can empty a hopper in 1 minute and 20 seconds. I think it takes 3 to 4 minutes for a hopper to empty. So just keep that in mind. So even if there was a, yeah, so that's faster than a torch tower by far. So that, and you can see how small it is too. It's just 3 blocks wide, 3 by 1, really compact. And the beautiful, beautiful thing about this is that if you wanted even crazier dropper activation times, you could make 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 on this side. But this one's, you would have to move the droppers over here so you're not getting input into these hoppers here, interference, whatever. So you can see here that I mean, this is a pretty hardcore, you know, super smelter. I mean, this is for, you know, the business of this super smelter is cooking items, you know, be it food or whatever, you know, and you can see the input and fuel sort of weighting hopper area is basically in the correct ratio to how much it uses. But the one issue with this particular design is that it does use quite a bit of fuel. That said, I mean, if you want to smelt a huge amount of stuff, I'm talking about like 50 double chests of sand in the glass, this is the thing that you want. And in fact, let's test that, shall we? I think we should. So we're going to empty out all of this. Okay, so there is actually nothing in here. Okay, this is all empty. Okay. So we are going to fill this thing with sand. When I say fill, I mean from the top to the bottom, filled with sand. I didn't even show you the improved, updated loading area, did I? I'll have to do that in a second here. So each hopper has 5 stacks, right? 5, I think it's 5 anyway. Yeah, 5. So, I mean, this is going to take a while. But my point is that this can smelt 1 stack in one go. It can smelt 1 stack at a time. That's why it's called a stack smelter. But on each side, so it can smelt actually 2 stacks at the same time. So if we come up here to the primary input, okay, and we just fill this thing up with sand, okay, just hear me out here. I want you to pay attention to this. Just keep in mind this will take a minute to filter down to the bottom. Surplus input. So if you have any extra that for some reason you want to get out of your inventory, but it needs to, see? The surplus input means that if you have any little extraneous items that you need cooked that doesn't fit in here, just pop them right in here and it'll take it down for you. So we have like a little office type area here, fuel only, okay. This is the surplus fuel. There is no surplus fuel. Yeah, so let's see here. That's the other thing about about this particular design is that it does use coal block, so it makes sense to have it be facilitated with a coal with a large item smelting, because these can smelt, I think it's 80 items each, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I thought it was kind of neat that the shulker box is black, and the I just thought that was kind of a fun little thing there. So this is filtering on down. Not sure why it's still filtering down, actually. Why is, okay, 16, let's do that. So it's topped off. Alright, so we're still waiting for our items up here, yeah? Yeah, let's look at this guy. Pretty well along still. This item, this sand up here is actually coming from there. Primary input, this is input only. If you put fuel in here, it'll scuttle the whole thing, because it'll get stuck in one of the furnaces. That's the one real actual drawback of this, is that something gets stuck in one of the furnaces, you have to dig it out. So yeah, this thing even has a balcony. Oh, remember I said it was flat? I wasn't lying, was I? Now, I will say something here. There is another rendition of this world that is actually on my computer. This is my girlfriend's computer, where this is totally gone, totally wiped out. It might have even been stuck in with a former like an older version of Minecraft. I don't remember. Yeah, but you can see here that this is flat. This has already all been taken out. So when I came into this particular world, I updated the stuff inside the SuperSmelter building. However, this part was still not 100% done yet. I believe I was using this to put the items in. At least I should have been. I don't, something like that. Yes. Let's use the bow. Let's find something to use on it while all that sand is filtering down. Sorry, Mr. Donkey. A lot of donkeys around here. Whee! Just completely flies them off. Like, look at the sound effects there. So I don't remember what I was doing here. I was burning all of this off to make some. That's right. This whole area is also all flattened. This area, this actually had a giant pit in the middle because of I had TNT cannons over here. So if we go down a couple of blocks, you'll see the sand. I filled it all in with sand because it was just easier to do that. This whole area was just completely annihilated. Alright. Yeah, I still have all the weird torches along the side. Yeah, so in this particular version, backup of the world, I only did work on the inside of here and did, yeah, so unfortunately it looks like I'll have to, yeah, there's the parrot cage. You can notice there's no terracotta in there because in 1.11 there is no place terracotta. Anyway, let's go back in and see what's up. Call from Rashka. All right. My girlfriend's phone number here used to be used by a couple. Emergency exit caution long drop. Emergency exit caution long drop. Yeah, so I also have a little bunker back in here. I think it's still here. Yeah, there it is. I'm pretty sure I worked on this as well. This needs a sea lantern. Pop it in, right? There we go, much better. So this is the little bunker here, maintenance, whatever you want to do, call it. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work there. Anyway. There we go, and this, I don't even know why that's there. So let's sneak on down here again. You don't even know where this is. So yeah, this is the heart of the whole system. This observer and this switch. The switch keeps it in the off position by powering it, ironically enough. Otherwise, these observers would just keep updating and updating and updating and updating. I look down here. Hold on a second. I want to. So that probably triggers maybe 200 times a second, something like that. Maybe less than that, maybe 100 times a second. I mean, yeah, that's pretty rapid fire. Like how it fades off. Yeah, so one of the other features of this SuperSmelter design is these hoppers here. Why do I have hoppers and a rail line and hoppers here? Well, like I said, it's all about buffering. You don't want to have, 10 double chests or more of items that may all be different going in one hopper line, okay? On this scale anyway. I mean, you see how much stuff is up there. So the reason why I have this with the rail, is because if there's a bunch of coal in here and there's only diamond in here and there's let's just say there's 8 diamond here, 6, 3, 7, and like 1 going through here. If the minecart picks up a diamond from there, it can put it in here, so it doesn't have to wait in line. So all of the like items can then back up together, and once there's room, the whole line moves forward. And one of the big benefits of doing it that way is actually to get things more evenly put into the storage system, the storage silo. You want your all of your coal pieces to go in all together, and that's what this does. That's what that allows us to do. So it allows each hopper to fill up with as many as the same item as possible, while not letting these hoppers get too backed up. It really is kind of magical, actually. Well, just a little bit. So I turned these off before because they were rolling around like crazy. Let's just, there we go. I don't think I actually need this one. No, I do not. So here we go. Oh, these also can enable and disable the hoppers. So if I want to clear out the dropper vader and not have any more items go in, even if this thing is running full tilt, all I do is flick this and they're disabled. They're not actually, they have a lot of weird updating glitches with this particular build. I'm not sure exactly why. So let's turn this on. I should not technically need this one either. No, see, they're too close together. They should only be as far spaced out as well. These ones are actually pretty close too. I think originally I had them spaced to these things were built basically on where the rail power areas were like sort of coming from. So let's get this rolling here. Once we start the actual thing up, I want to be able to. There we go. It's like 10 mine carts in one there. It's really kind of funny. All right, so. All right, you wonder if this is the send and return. This is the sort of bounce back platform here. If you notice, I have there's plenty of space here, and it's because I don't want to cram all my stuff in. It's not a good idea. And you see how many of these there are? I don't actually need that many, but it allows me to evenly space them so it looks nice. You know, it does. Because if I ended up doing it only as many as I needed, like this one's powering like 2 powered rails. Like what's that all about, you know? So I would have this be, the first one would actually be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first one would be here, where this, the first of these power thingamabobs would be over here. And then there'd be another one, you know, further down this way, like maybe over here or something. This just makes it look a little bit more industrial, I guess. You don't need that many of them. So let's see how this is doing here. Okay. I am going to disable these hoppers. Hey, honey. Hey, how are you? I am doing okay. I'm doing all right. It's all right. Very bored, obviously. Oh, okay. Very nice. Ooh, that's not a bad idea at all, actually. Yeah, yeah, good idea. Mm-hmm. That's cool. You're on your break? Okay. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's crazy. Yeah, especially with yeah, especially with the flu season the way it is. I'm not surprised at all. Okay, I'll make sure he's ready to go. Okay, so okay, I'll pick something up for him. Okay, let me go sort that out actually now, so he knows what's going on. Okay, honey, I'm gonna actually have lunch myself and some tea and stuff too. Just laying there. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah, he's being very patient about the whole thing. No, he's very blah and out of it. I mean, there wasn't that much rice left. He did eat all of it, but there wasn't that much left. Is it in, where is it again? Bag. All right. Does it have a specific like a sticker on it or something? Does it have a sticker or something? Is it labeled? Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna get going and do. Okay. Let me get on that then. Okay. Okay. I love you. Okay. Bye. Bye. All right. So these are locked now. I think I may have inadvertently forgotten to turn this back. Yes, so this should be back on. Whoopsie. That should have just been come pouring in. Now finally it updated. So this should start coming in again. If you notice, it's one stack at a time. It's because each pass is about 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. There we go. This is just one side too. The other hopper is over here. And it should have a similar story. Yep. How many pieces of glass got through? Oh, 5 pieces of glass. Okay. So which one has more? This one clearly has more. Has less. Yeah, there we go. I mean, you can see how quickly the glass is coming through here. It's even doubling up. All right, well, that's going to be it for the live stream tour of the SuperSmelter. There is one other thing I wanted to show. Oh, yeah, that's right. So there's a central corridor down the middle here. In other... What the heck is that guy doing out there? Hi, yo. Get off of there. So anyway, we'll take that off. So this allows us to inspect the hoppers for anything that should not be there. As soon as this is, let's see how many have actually built up. Two. Wonder if it'll probably build up to 3. And then, yeah, nope. So we can inspect this to make sure there's nothing in there that shouldn't be. Like this. There we go. So the central corridor is very important. Now, when I first built this thing, I didn't. If this had a hopper line, it would still be. It would just be this block height instead of this block height. So you can inspect your hopper lines. You gotta be able to inspect your hopper lines. If you don't, you can have item contamination. You can have fuel in the item input and input items in the fuel side, or other things like that lever that I found. So anyway, long story short, this is built for capacity. It's not really super efficient with fuel, but it's definitely built for capacity. And Davis at Davis, I hope you enjoy your super stack super smelter. I basically built 2 of these at your residence. Slightly shorter. It's only 48, and let me do the math here. There are 42. No, it's 42. Sorry. So 42 times 2, 84. So instead of 130, it's 84. But there's 2 of them. So 84 times 2 equals 168, and then we have plus 42 plus 42, and then plus 42, because you have the 4 wide. 252 furnaces total. So this one is bigger in length, is longer, but there's only 1 of them. So it's just 130 furnaces total. Yours is 252, so it's more than twice as many furnaces, even though the whole array is actually much shorter. So that'll wrap it up for today. The rest of this is basically just the enclosure, like this really cool thing here. It's like the power plant for the thing or something. If it was really a smelting plant, this whole area would be all whatever, and that would be like the chimney for the exhaust. We have this neat little, actually this needs to be changed. While I am here, I will do this. So you might have seen this. You have like this conduit that goes up into, and this is basically just a duct kind of thing. Where it goes from where the source of whatever's being exhausted to the chimney or a stack, whatever you want to call it. I actually like that little change there. It makes it look a lot nicer. Let's put this over here. And then do this right here. It's good. I mean, the smelter itself is actually, you know, it works. But the rest of it is decorative. But I want it to be like realistic too. You know, so there's, you have an access way. Pardon me, very tired. Not a lot of sleep. So, and these here are not just for actual decoration. These allow fresh air to come in through the chimney, and that's a real thing. And then the reason why chimneys are so tall is, yes, to get the soot and exhaust away from the ground, but it's also because there is almost constant breeze. The taller a chimney is, the more likely the top of it will be having a breeze, and the breeze will draw the exhaust elements out. And what this allows, so you're having a breeze coming across here, well, it might only be affecting the top little area of you know, exhaust output there. So you have these little things down here, these little vents, and air gets pulled into here and sucked up out the top. And that means that this whole thing is actively drafting out from this block level, like this level right here. So instead of the only ventilation coming out of the stack being up here, this block level, it's actually all the way down here. So it's a lot, in real life, that would be a lot more efficient. And they do have that. They do have, you know, induction draft and all that stuff with real chimneys. There are many of them that where the induction draft is at the bottom, so the whole entire thing is actively transporting all that stuff completely up and out the top. But I figured that we want ours above the roof here, because there's a lot of, you know, fumes and coal soot and stuff, and we don't want the soot coming out near the ground level. That's the only thing. If there's a backdraft down here, the exhaust can can actually come out of here instead of out of the top. So that's only in certain wind conditions. So you don't want that way down here, because if it's way down here, you can also get more turbulence in there, more soot deposits on the inside of here. Let's just say there's soot filtering systems. You know, just be modern and updated. So yeah, there you have it. Large capacity super smelter, 130 furnaces with enclosure, decorative enclosure, industrial style decorative enclosure, and smart storage. You can see also this is different. These fill up at the same time now instead of one and then the other. I'm not sure if I'm going to change that or not. Now originally, my original draft of this whole enclosure actually had indicator lights for the dropper vader, but that caused way too much lag with the redstone lamps. And redstone lamps don't update quickly. They're not an on and off thing. They actually take one game tick to update from on to off. That creates quite a bit of lag when they're going on and off a whole bunch. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Next live stream will be tomorrow, hopefully. Love you all, and peace.